Hello everyone, it's russelllowe speaking. This tutorial is going to show you how to change the textures on this standard model from Crysis Wars. This is a civilian Jeep, or the civilian ute, or car, sorry, and you can use the same technique to change the textures on any standard model inside Crysis Wars. What I'm assuming is that you've created your own mod and that you're going to be doing all of this inside a mod file. My mod's called Visual Effects, and another thing I'm assuming is that you've downloaded and installed the NVIDIA texture tools for Adobe Photoshop. That's the one that I used, but you'll find the one that's appropriate for your system. The other thing that you'll need to do is go into the game folder of Crysis Wars and make these pack files so that you can open them and explore them. If I double click on one of these, I've got it associated with something strange at the moment, but what we want to do is associate them with WinRAR. So just did something off the screen. I just opened up a WinRAR sort of application, and then go into, you can see that they're all pack files, but if you go into options, settings, and then integration, and you type the word pack in here as an extension, go OK, it'll recognize all of those pack files as zipped files that can be opened by WinRAR. So if we that's what I'm assuming that you've got already set up. So we'll go back to Sandbox, and the first thing we need to do is find out where the standard texture is so that we can use it as a template. So to do that, we'll open up the material editor and then click on the pick material from object eyedropper, click on the civilian Jeep or civilian car, and what it does is it takes you directly to the material. You can see it's in the objects, vehicles, civilian car folder. And then if we look at these titles here, we can see that they refer to things like glass, wheels, chrome, bumpers, chassis. Sometimes it's a bit of a lottery to figure out which bit affects which bit of the model, but in this case it's actually the chassis that does most of the work. If I click on, let me just move this across, if I show you this diffuse color map, you can see that there's a actually I'll just click it, open it. You can see that there's a side of the civilian car there, and that's the bonnet or hood depending on which part of the world you're from. So I'll just cancel that. But you can see what it's doing is telling us where it is. So it's in the objects, vehicles, civilian car folder. That's the same folder that the material's in, and we'll do the same thing as that as well. So if we close that one and go to the game folder where all of these standard objects and textures and things are stored from the game, and open up objects with WinRAR, then open up objects, vehicles, civilian car 1, and chassis. There's the one that we want. So what we want to do is we want to copy that to our mods folder. So if I go back to Crysis Wars, go into mods, my mod's called Visual Effects, and it needs inside the game folder, it's got a levels folder already, but I need a game objects folder. And then inside the objects we need a vehicles folder, and then inside the vehicles folder we need a civ, let's call car 1 folder, and inside that folder we can whack that DDS. So now we're done with that, and we can open this up into Photoshop. Because I've already installed the NVIDIA plugin tools here into Photoshop, I can just double click on this and it'll open up into my version of Photoshop. Go OK for that, and there it is. You can see the things that we were seeing a bit smaller before. So little bit of advertising just to customize the texture, and you can use this as a template and draw all your own textures over the top of this, or color it in however you like. File, save as, and we'll give it our own custom name. And you can see that it's actually saving in the same folder that we opened it up from. So our mods folder, visual effects, game, objects, vehicles, civcar 1. Save that, and because there's no alpha channels in this one, this is the standard setting, so just go save. Takes a while, this. Not too bad. We'll close that, and we'll close Photoshop because it does get in the way a little bit. Sometimes it won't let the game open up this folder because this file it thinks is still in use in Photoshop, which is a pain. So we'll go back to here into the world editor, open up the material editor again, and this is where we create a duplicate of this material, or a copy of this material, and then we use our copy to modify it rather than the standard one, because that can lead to some major problems. So let's go back to the standard one, and then we'll right click on it and go copy, and then we'll right click anywhere else and go, actually that's highlighting the mods folder or whatever, but it doesn't matter because let's try highlighting it down here and go paste, because what it does is actually open up your the folder where you were last, and you need it to be in the civcar 1 folder. Actually, you probably don't need it to be there, but just for neatness and consistency, we'll replicate the standard file directory exactly, and we'll call this civcar 1 underscore Russell. Now, underscores are fine, but no other funny characters, and definitely no spaces or anything weird like that. And go save. Actually, this is from the last one, so let's do that again. Go right click, copy, and right click paste, and we'll call it civ underscore car 1 underscore Russell, and we'll give it like USSELL. It's good to spell your own name right. Let's call it Russell88, just in case I've done a civcar 2 or something else. Go save, and you can see that there's that one there, and I did have one in there before. This is pretty much a rect material. You can see that it doesn't have the plus sign next to it, so you can't expand it. This will give you all sorts of trouble, and will go away once we close the game and open it again. It's because it wasn't assigned. So if we go to the civcar 1, we can assign this material to the object, but because it's exactly the same as the standard one, you won't see any changes. So what I'll do first is go into the chassis part of it and hit open next to the diffuse color channel, and then I'm going to navigate to my mods folder, visual effects, game, objects, vehicles, civcar 1, and I'm going to choose my one, go OK, and then I can assign it. So we select the top level of it, of the material, and then select the object that you want to assign it to, and hit assign material to selection, and there you can see it's done. So let me close the material. So you can see russelllowe has come out properly. You can see the .com is perfect, and you can see that on the other side it's actually mirrored and reversed. That's because both sides of the vehicle are using the same UV space. So that's a bit of a problem with some models, and if that's a major problem for you, then you'll probably need to export the model and re-UVW map it, which is a whole new ball game. Let me show you that if we then go and put another civilian car in the scene, you can see it's using the standard texture. And if I go File and Save, I'll close this, open it up again, and when I open it up again, the texture will remain. If you did it some other way, if you changed the texture in one of the standard files, you're nowhere near guaranteed that it's actually going to appear next time. It's slightly random, can have some pretty nasty effects around the rest of your map, and you might end up just replacing your game pack file. So there it is, and there's the standard one. Okay, so hopefully you find that useful. If you've got any questions, I guess you can leave a comment over on in the comments section on YouTube, or something else. Cheers. Hope that helps.